Hello, everyone. Today's story is about two sisters, Reem and Tajba. They got together. They're artists in different categories, we can say. And they put their passion together and opened up a gallery, an art gallery, where they teach and they have workshops and they share their passion and teach it to others, kids and adults. And they have fun, and the kids and adults have fun. Come with me to hear their stories. Hi, girls.
Hello. Hello.
Lovely to have you here at last.
Thank you. The pleasure's all ours.
Thanks. Reem, Tajba. Okay. I want you to start from the beginnings where you started getting interested into art. So why don't I start with Reem? Okay? And then we'll come to you.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God, when did I start?
Yeah, tell us your story.
I think it had to be in the womb, honestly.
No way. Okay.
I am born a creative. I've always been like handy, crafty. When we were growing up, it wasn't like easy to get paint supplies and everything. And there was only one shop at that time. And I mean, like, we used to recycle magazines. And I don't know what we used to do, but it was always about creating, always about doing something from by ourselves, basically.
Okay.
It was, and of course, at that time, we were homebound, but it's always been.
But was it painting or was it anything
sketching.
to just
It was
sketching?
It was doodling. It was making sure I had the best handwriting. It was making sure I could, create a nice bubble writing. It all started with pencil and paper and a dot. That's how it always starts with, and just elaborating and going on. But I did get more into sketching, and I had this fabulous teacher. I was very naughty in school. So school was probably one of my turning points because I was, quite a naughty school, and we went to one of the very conservative schools in Bahrain. We had Catholic nuns, and I was naughty. I'll just say it. We had lots of fun.
We're not going to go into
we
how
don't
naughty
go into that.
You were.
So there was this one teacher who had hope in me, and hope in the entire group. Okay, and these people now are in very, very nice, influential places in Bahrain. So I'm not going to say their names.
Okay.
But it was this group that this teacher had faith in.
Okay.
And whenever I used to be kicked out of the class, or we used to be kicked out of the class, this teacher used to say, "Come to the art studio." And we used to go and hide with her in the art studio, because if the principal caught us, it was serious, trouble.
Right.
And when we used to hide in the art studio, we just got
creativity
creative
started.
and interest, and basically that's where where the push came from. Her technique, her love, her passion, her kindness towards misfits like us.
Okay.
That's where it started from.
Okay. Tajba, how about you?
I think my story is really different. I was just thinking,
Great.
Because I was listening
That's
to
interesting.
her.
Okay.
I was listening to her. I mean, she's my sister, so you'd think we'd have the same background, but I don't think so. Because I've always thought that I got this inspiration to be so creative and in the arts world from my parents.
Okay.
Because
I should have said that.
In a world, all our lives, we were like surrounded by poets, musicians, vocalists, actors, actresses. I can't even begin to tell you like who hasn't blessed our home.
Okay.
So like I remember like I used to stay awake till 4 a.m. listening to them. We used to have like mehfil, a seating. Like they used to sit and
for music and poetry,
dance, and it was beautiful, like traditional music. And I used to hear these all till 4 a.m. Okay. And then the only thing at that time I ever worried about was, do I have to go to school in the morning? But Mom woke us up and we went to school. But I believe it started there. Like it started with that subliminal coaching, like you know,
Okay,
like it was always around us. And then when we finally found something that triggered it,
Okay.
like in Reem's case, it was the teacher that triggered it.
True. What was your trigger?
Well, I think I really got into art in 11th grade in IKNS when
Okay.
I did my IB.
Okay.
But I wasn't really that into art until I went to university.
Okay.
At the Savannah College. And I think that's when I realized this is what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, when you said your parents, it was more about music and poetry and all that, not art as as painting, you know.
No, I think it was more cultural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you started going into painting. Yeah. You know. What happened? What shifted?
So art university happened.
Okay.
I initially went to Dubai to do my bachelor's of arts in interior design, only to transfer in my third year to SCAD, where I met the most amazing artists, young artists, like third year, second year university students.
And SCAD is where?
In Savannah, in Georgia, Savannah College of Art and Design.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it's a little
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
secret. So, but I only went there for a year.
Okay.
But in that year, the exposure that I got to illustration, graphic designing, painting, woodwork. I mean, these were all courses that I did over there. I never
foundation
did that.
happened.
Yeah, I didn't do that when I was in Dubai.
Yes, yeah.
And when I went there and I experienced all of those things, like woodwork. Who does woodwork? You know, but I did it.
Yeah.
I did illustration. I did sketching in the park. I mean, how much fun is that?
True.
And then I think that's when I really realized I want to do this. And that was when I really focused on my sketchbooks. And I think that's where it started.
Her sketchbooks are fabulous.
That's where it started.
So let's stop here now. Now you started getting interested into sketching and art and all that. How did your parents feel about that? Were they okay with it? I mean, you went to college to study that. Weren't they like, oh, but that won't bring you money, that won't give you a good base for work afterwards? What were their thoughts?
You know, I'll be really honest with you. I think because I was so far down the line of children, mom and dad didn't worry about that. Because they had enough bankers in finance and all of those guys. So when I remember...
They were just too tired, I guess, at the end.
I have a fond memory of my father where he introduced me after my first year of university and he said, this is my youngest daughter. She wants to be an artist. She's adopted. Like, he just laughed. And I was like, why would you say that? You know, but he was just so, it was.
But that's their generation, right? That's how they think, right?
I know, that's why
so
I'm asking.
For me, it was like I never heard mom and dad ever say to me, this would not be money making. Or anything like that. Actually, it was more the opposite. Like my mom was more worried about what if your husband doesn't like it? You know, I was like, okay, you know. So that was her take on it. But regarding finances, it was never an issue.
I think
what
me,
did you study?
I studied.
What did you study in college?
Banking and finance, with major in finance and real
That's why you got away with it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I do remember when I used to do all these lovely sketches and stuff, I used to show it to my father and I was like, Baba, look. And he's like, so nice, very nice. But
now focus.
Yani. You have to have a proper... At that time, proper degree. I mean, look at where we are now. Art is like in every field now. You know,
exactly.
You cannot get away. But at that time, it was like, that's nice. I'm so happy. And you know, he always encouraged me. Like, I definitely went to a couple of what was it? The Bahrain Institute. What was it called?
Yeah, he encouraged you. He pushed you for the
I used
Bahrain
to go.
Art Society.
Art Society. I used to go for classes there.
The one in Budaya, Burgerland.
Burgerland. So I used to go there a few times. I was very intimidated by that space. I will not say it. I mean, that's the truth. It was a very formal. So I think I kind of regressed a little bit because I was like, oh God, this is scary. Art is not supposed to be scary.
So you graduated from college,
yes, I did my
university.
finance,
And did you go and work in finance?
Yes, I came back to Bahrain. I worked for a couple of years in ABN AMRO, and then I worked with an American company for another year, and then wherever life takes you, I decided to get married.
Okay.
And that took me there.
And you came, you stopped
And
working.
I didn't touch art.
Okay.
Oh my God, you got to hear the story.
Okay, yes.
And I'll tell you why I didn't touch art.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
here I am flying in my high school, expected grades in O levels was going to be an A star in art for sure. I've won so many inter-school competitions. Everybody knows Reem is the artist. Okay.
Okay.
And what happens a day or 2 days before my O-level art exam? I get into a push and a shove with a guy, and he elbows my eye, and my eye, I end up with a very severe hemorrhage.
Okay.
Now my eye is swollen shut. My whole face side is swollen. Obviously, I couldn't sit for the exam. The principal knew how committed I was, and she's got special permission from me from the School of Boards, and they postponed my exam for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Fantastic, because I was such a geek at that time, and I had to be with my friends during their examination time. I came like the following week just to say hi to my teacher and say, I'm here, I'm getting better. My principal saw me, and she goes, come and sit for the exam now. If you could come from the house, you come and do it right now.
Okay.
I looked at her, and I just said, I cannot do it. I cannot focus if your eye is like this, and you're supposed to look at what is it called? The live...
observational drawing.
I was like, I can't do it. And I was in tears, and I left, and I never touched art till 11, 12 years ago.
She's the
That's
still
my
artist.
story.
Yeah.
That's a very common
That woman
thing that happens.
ruined me.
Yeah.
I didn't touch it.
Yeah.
I didn't touch it.
Okay.
So what is happening now is only the last 12 or 13 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For me.
Yeah. So you graduated art.
Yes.
What happened? You came back?
Ooh, that's a long time ago.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
What do you mean that was a long time ago? What am I going to
the-
say if you say that was okay? Okay.
it's like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just right around the corner. So I graduated. Actually, I met my husband before graduation, got married, and graduated after I got married.
Oh, okay.
While I was
So
pregnant
he
with
knew-
my first child.
So he knew that you're an artist. So that was
Let's
okay.
just say...
Okay. Okay.
He did. He always knew I was more artistic
Inclined.
than him.
Yes.
But he just didn't know to what level of insanity of artists the approach was there. So after I got married, I had my kids. I was working actually for an interior design company in Dubai.
Okay. So you were there.
We used to live in
there.
Dubai because I had to move back to Dubai for my final year of university.
Okay.
And that was the year I was married. And started working as an intern for an interior design company called Broadway Interiors.
Okay.
And I was there for 7 years. Like I graduated and I continued working there, loved it, got promoted, and it was really, I loved it. I thought this was my calling. Like I thought I wanted to do interiors,
And what were you doing?
commercial spaces and residential interior spaces.
So it's interior.
Yeah,
just-
so I
okay,
was
okay.
really in interiors. I was doing, and everything, site management, loved it. Then when I was pregnant with my second child, we decided to move to Bahrain.
Okay.
And moved to Bahrain, obviously didn't work. Then I wanted a quick fix job, and I found a part-time job at the school I teach at right now.
Ah,
And it
okay.
was a substitute job for like two months. And
As an art teacher.
as an art teacher, at IKNS. And then I realized, this could be something I really want to do.
Okay.
So applied for the job, got it. And then after 2 years, I thought I'm going to try going back to interior design to see if that's still my calling. And I went back, didn't survive 9 months. I was out. I said, nope, that's not what I want to do anymore. I hated it. I hated taking my work home with me. I hated the feeling that I hated feeling like that, the way it made me feel. And then I took on full-time teaching.
All right. Okay. Now we come to Artology.
Fun.
Yes. So what happened? When did you start working together. You're an art teacher. You were in school teaching. You came out of work, married and had kids.
Yeah, and then long story short, was recently separated at that time.
Okay.
And,
So what happened? Did you go back to work? What did you do?
Yeah, there's an official story and there's a pretty story. So I'm just going to be honest about it, actually.
Yeah.
After being a supportive wife and everything, and and I ended up with a separation, I had no job opportunities, obviously, because you've given up.
You've been away from
with
work,
the kids and this and that. So trying to get a job, I looked and I tried, and art was going on very seldomly in the afternoon, and wait, no, maybe I'm rushing it.
No, that was after.
That was after. Taj, you start. What happened?
What happened? Yeah.
Wait, hold on to that thought.
I'll tell you the chronological order.
Yes.
I think how I remember
I think I
it.
jumped.
So after Reem's separation, there was I think a few months or a year of us just thinking how we were going to survive. Mm-hmm. She had 3 kids, and we were thinking what to do.
Yeah.
And we started with a squash court, abandoned squash court in the family compound.
Okay.
And we converted that into a little studio space where she would teach my kids, and I would pay her, and I would teach her kids.
That's
and she would pay me.
So it was a family business for your kids.
Oh yeah, and then our friends used to drop their kids off, like one child, and then they used to pay us. Like we started like that because we didn't know if we could do it.
Yeah.
No one gave us a financial backing to do it, and when we asked our halves at that time if this was an option, they weren't very excited because I'm not business minded. So it was, for me it was like, you don't know anything about business. How are you going to survive?
Right.
And I think it's similar for this approach. And I think after her separation, it was really just us pulling it together, teaching each other's kids.
Literally.
Initially, we were just teaching each other's kids, and then.
And then best friends started bringing their kids.
Okay.
And I was like, this is
And then
doable.
word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
It just started going. People were like, hey, they're really interested. We have, we had more supplies.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember our first buy, we only had 200 BD.
That's it.
And I said, Reem, this is all we have, 200 BD. What can we buy with this? She's like, let's go shopping. We got 5 canvases, 4 brushes, and 6 paints. We're like, that's it. That's all we got.
Like pencil.
No, but I mean,
I know it was so limited.
Our initial, because that's all we had at that time.
Right.
But and we pushed it through. We used to pull each other out.
And this was in the squash court.
It was in the squash court, abandoned squash court.
Squash court.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably still smelled like sweat, but it was fine. But it's okay.
Okay.
But Marjan, we made it happen.
Yes.
I mean, you have to understand that there was half a broken table with 4 kids, which grew to 6 kids, and then another table was.
Isn't that the beauty of building up something?
And then suddenly we had cabinets, and then suddenly we added.
It was all donated,
and I can't tell you how that place has evolved.
Okay.
And
and then what happened? You started getting serious about this?
Yeah.
I think what happened. What
are we talking about now? How many years?
We're talking
ago?
about 2 years. This is around 2012, I would say. We started
2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by 2012, the job market wasn't giving me any, success. I just said, I was doing a real estate job. I was doing a teaching job here. I was doing tutoring. I was like, that's it. I'm going to close everything. She already has a great job,
Right. And you said you'll concentrate.
I'm going to concentrate on Artology.
Yeah.
And from there to where we are, alhamdulillah, by the grace of God, it's incredible.
So what happened? The squash court thingy.
The squash court.
The squash court was a squash court for 9 years.
Yes, for 9 years we stayed in that space. We just added on an extension. We added on more ACs, more lighting, more table, more funky things here, and the people started growing from 4 to
Okay.
to a waiting list, let's just
And
say.
was it only children or children and adults?
Children and adults, although we didn't focus very much on adults
yeah.
first, but in the last 4 or 5 years, we started opening the doors to adults. And, you know, I mean, we've even hosted some amazing international,
I remember.
artists.
Yeah, I
and
remember
they
seeing
came to
them.
our squash court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think-
They started. You started
Yeah,
from
on
there.
the
with
squash
us.
court.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for us, after like 2-3 years of teaching children, we really sat down and
Yeah.
we put the scope of works that are included in a space like this.
Okay.
And our main thing was to create a space that would be a mess-free zone for children to express.
Okay.
And to have the freedom to express and not feel like they have to be held accountable for their feelings.
And this is where the new studio.
No, that was still
happened?
squash court. That was still squash court time.
When are we going to get?
I'll tell you the new studio.
Okay. Yeah.
So this was still squash court time.
Okay.
And when we started getting the scope out, we started branching to local artists, local teachers to work with us, so that we could pull in
So you
locals.
started collaborating.
Yeah, and they were teaching with us. So it was not just myself and
Nice.
Reem. It was a collab, and we had teacher assistants.
So you
we
had kind of the different perspectives coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, because art is
Yes.
so.
I mean, me and her, we can't work together. She has a different teaching way. I have a different teaching way. It's really funny.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
everyone brings something to the table.
to the table.
Yeah.
And I think that was when we started realizing, okay, and then when we opened doors to workshops,
Yes.
that was when we realized how capable we are and what is missing and what people are missing and students are missing, you know, that desire to connect with someone who can express anything like that. And I think around what was it, 2016, 2017, we started talking about the new space.
Okay.
And that was when the tick, tick, tick started happening, and we were really started contemplating what a bigger space would entail, obviously finances,
Yeah.
and then what we could provide with a bigger space.
Yeah.
And when we designed the bigger space, we thought about having residency programs. We wanted to invite artists to live with us.
Oh, okay.
And offer workshops. Like, why wouldn't you
like
wanna,
a 3-4 day workshop?
Yeah.
The artist would be staying there.
would be staying at the studio. We give
yeah.
them a space to stay and create.
And did you do that? Did you do the
finances
space?
happened.
Finance.
No, the space. Did
Oh yeah,
you
the
make?
space. Yes,
Yeah.
we did. We so funny story. We broke the squash court down.
Oh.
Yeah, finally around 2017.
It was a very emotional.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm getting emotional.
Because I remember going there and I was thinking like, oh my
This
God,
is where it all
This is
started.
where it started.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we still.
Funny and scary because
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen now.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden there was no squash court, and
Yeah.
in our heads we're thinking there's no space anymore. Like, what if we never had the finances to build this up?
Right.
How are we ever going to bring Artology back?
Right. Okay.
But you know what? We made one summer. Right, we did some. Yeah, so
we
summer.
did everything. You got to hear this.
The summer before we broke the studio down, we built a shed with one of our friends, wooden shed.
South African
South
chap.
African
Yeah.
young man,
Oh,
and
that's
we
nice.
decided to build a shed.
Okay.
And we had connected it to the studio.
Okay.
On the pretense that if we ever needed to, take it and move it somewhere else, we could just,
Yeah.
sort of pick it up because it was that light, right?
Yeah.
Pick it up and move it somewhere. But that was the only shed we didn't break. So the whole structure broke down, but the shed was detachable.
Yeah.
So after we broke the studio down, we taught from the shed, the shed was perhaps like 6 meters, 6 meters,
by
6
by
by
3.
Yeah, 6 by 3. So
Okay.
tiny, very
Yeah.
tiny
space.
shed.
But we made it
Yeah.
happen.
And we taught out of there for a year and a half.
Oh, for a year and a half.
We
you
didn't
used to-
have a studio.
Bravo, guys.
And we
Bravo.
used to,
Yeah.
Marjan, yani, when the weather was good, we used to go outside,
Outside,
have
yeah.
outdoor classes, which was so well received as
Poolside
well.
sessions. We had garden
yeah.
sessions.
And all this time you were building the studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had a
Okay.
lot of hiccups with the studio.
Yes.
Tell me about the name. Where did the name come from? Artology.
Do you remember?
I just remember. I know I don't. I just thought that this was the cutest name at that time.
But why
like Scienceology, and biology.
Okay.
And then I thought it was
it was a
science
discipline.
and art.
yes.
Yeah, it was the concept of
combination.
the methodology of teaching around art.
Okay.
I remember sitting at work and I was writing names, and we were thinking like, we were inspired by Creative Minds. There's another international, I think Canadian-based company by that name.
Right.
So we were looking around those lines, and then I was like, art, create, art this, art that. And then I remember, I was like, why don't we just do it? And I messaged her, I said, Reem, how does Artology sound? And she's like, done, it's perfect, it's sorted. And then we got that. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So then Artology blossomed. Finally, I think it took us around 2 years
For the space to be
for the
up.
space to be, with all the hiccups that we had. Oh my God, I can't even begin to tell you the hiccups. And then, let's not get there.
Yeah, that's just
Okay,
bad.
yeah.
And I do remember Tajba, when she came in the space, she goes, this is it. We're not going to repeat any bad JoJo in this space after the construction. Just,
Right.
Khalas, this is the end of it.
Yeah.
So now it's gone, it's over, it's done.
Yeah.
So,
let's start
let's move on.
fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've been to the place. I've been to
have.
the studio. I just love it. You know, even when I look at your Instagram posts and all that, and hear the music in the background, I think it is such a beautiful, relaxing, serene place. Really, bravo for doing that.
Thank
really,
you.
I love what you two are doing. What's next for you guys? What's next?
Ooh. Well, what's next, Reem?
I think
Any idea?
I think as a small established business in Bahrain, where many of us are in the same space, we
Yeah.
are looking for things to improve
Right.
health-wise of Bahrain and the corona issue. I think once that stabilizes, we'd be actually able to move a little bit, because right now we've been taken back to 25-30% of what we can actually offer.
True.
So we want to go back to pre-corona days where the buzz was just
True.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's been the aim. It's always been providing the space, providing happiness, meeting people.
That's okay. Okay, tell me something. Corona happened, all of this commotion, and we stayed at home, and we went back, and we stayed at home. Technology came in.
Yes, which is very difficult.
Zoom and
Yeah.
going online and all that. Do you think when you go back, inshallah, when we go back to normal lives
Right.
again, are you going to do any changes with what you were doing? Are you going to be using some of what happened and you learned during this time?
You know, we have spoken regularly about launching a YouTube channel.
Okay.
On teaching arts.
Okay.
And because if anything, Corona taught us to be more tech savvy. And when Corona happened, we were thinking of how to communicate the teaching process to a student.
Right.
And we were creating videos, we were doing voiceovers, we were doing time lapses, we were doing all these things. And then self-taught ourselves how to use iMovie. It was
True.
dodgiest,
Yeah.
but we did it.
We learned.
And we used to house our online classes, and
Right.
we housed a good, successful semester of them.
Okay.
But then it came to a point where you started thinking, like, students are online all day.
They're burnt.
Do they really need to be online for something like arts?
Yeah,
You get what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
yes,
it's too
of
much
course.
to expect
Yeah.
a child
Yeah.
to be there. So we were always thinking about stuff like this. And even now we are
Yeah,
still
we still
producing
are.
content for videos. And we
Okay.
are still producing content for, some type of promotion like this. But I think once... Like we've always spoken about holding cultural events.
Yeah.
And that
yeah.
is it. We've only ever had one successful cultural event. And that was beautiful. People
Yeah.
do talk about that
Okay.
event. And
Okay.
we've always talked about doing that, like creating a little bridge between cultures, you know? And
yeah,
we've spoken about like so many ideas. We've had like train concept, like art on a train type of a concept where it travels and then people just sort of board and come and this group becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and they exhibit. I mean, we've talked about all of these things, and unfortunately, everything's come to a hold. And I think once Corona or once some type of normal lifestyle, I think our main aim would be getting those kids back in, man. We miss it. The studio is empty. Like, we miss them.
I know. I miss it too.
Oh my
Just
God.
looking at your
No, we miss
Instagram
it.
posts.
They're empty. And talking about the vibe, our studio has always had that vibe.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
even a squash court.
Yeah.
Even as a squash court.
Well, I can't say about that one because
We
I
have
don't know
videos.
about that.
I'll show you videos.
Okay.
But even as a squash court, there was always music, there were candles,
Yes.
there was always tea and biscuits, like the things that made it us, and there was always us.
Okay.
Like
That is the most important
I
thing.
know.
Yeah.
Marjan.
I know.
There
and
was
that's what a
always
lot of
us.
people.
Yeah.
Every parent that has come has so much trust in us.
Yes.
Like they know Reem is there. They know Tajba is there. If Reem is there, she will know what to do. And I have had such amazing respect and trust, and so has she, with the kids.
Yeah.
Kids with issues, normal kids, but they can trust us and they say, we're leaving them with you. And
because I think I believe that one of the ways that children and even adults express is through art.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're doing an amazing job.
And so much of fun.
Yeah.
Seriously, Marjan.
Yeah, I know.
The things that have been created, and the kids. Honestly, I do love the kids.
Okay. Okay, well, thanks. Thanks for
you.
coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
That was interesting.
Yeah. Good fun.
Now you'll remember squash
now
court when
I
you come
know
over.
where it all started and where it all ended. And wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And wish that soon enough we go back to normal and it gets buzzed
Inshallah.
again.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
And
you.
your
Thank you
space
very-
is lovely. And you've made us so comfortable, which was,
thanks.
it's amazing. Really.
Great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.